let's write a function called wordWrap. So it says write the function wordWrap text that takes in text and width, where text is a string of text, as I would probably guess, and width is a positive integer width. And then this function is going to return a possibly multi-line string that matches the original string only with line wrapping at the given width. So wordWrap ABC with a width of 3 is just going to return ABC, but if we give it a width of 2, that would return a 2-line string where the first line would be AB and the second line would be C. So then it says, after you complete the word wrapping in this way, all spaces at the start and the end of each resulting line should be removed, and then all remaining spaces should be converted to dashes so they can easily be seen in the resulting string. Okay, so let's actually go down to the test cases and walk through this example. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G with some random spaces in between, and we have a width of 4. So that is going to be text, and the width is going to be equal to 4. Not the string 4, the integer 4. So as I'm going through this, I'm actually going to build up a result where this result is going to be multi-line string. It's going to start out as empty though. If I have a width of 4, so first I'm going to get the first 4 characters. I'm going to throw that in the result. And then right at that moment, I'm going to strip this line of the characters on the beginning and the end. So I'm going to remove that one at the end. Then I'm going to replace all the spaces with dashes. And then I'm going to throw an enter in there. Next, I have C space D, E. So I'm going to copy that and paste that right on this new line. I'm going to remove all the spaces from this line. And then I'm going to turn this space into a dash. And then I'm going to throw an enter in there. And then I'm going to grab the last characters remaining. I ran that back too. I'm going to grab the last characters remaining. I'm going to strip all the spaces from the beginning and the end. And then there are no spaces there, but if there were, I would replace them. And so this is then the resulting string, as we can see here in the test case. So if we want to do that in exactly that order, first what we would do is we would write a for loop. So I'm going to say for I in range, and we're going to have start, end, and step. To determine what the start, end, and step is, let's actually see what these slices looked like. So before this was A dash B, it was A space B space. And these are the first 4 characters in the string, right? So if I want to slice this, that would be text from 0 until 4. That is going to be this line here. This line was C space DE, and that is actually text, and I'm going to line this up here so you can see it. This is text from 4 to 8. And this last line is going to be text from, let's just guess, 8 to 12. And if we look, this used to be space FG. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is this space, all the way to the end. So this can be a 12 if we want it to be. And I'm seeing a pattern here, so I'm actually going to leave that as 12. And then that actually will give us the start, end, and step that we need. So we start here at 0, and then we step by from 0 to 4 to 8. And that is just the width. That's the end. The step is here, so that's going to be width. But the end here, we just want to keep going until we hit the very end of the string text, so I could just do len of text. And then that will give us, I can even print this out. So let's print out what this I will be. So if I run this, word wrap with text equaling this value and then a step of 4, this is going to be 0, 4, 8. And so that's great. That is the first index, of where we want to slice. So I can even start this slicing line. So I can go text from I until, if we want to get from 0 to 4, we add 4. If we want to get from 4 to 8, we add 4. If we want to get from 8 to 12, you guessed it, we add 4. So we do I plus 4. And so this is going to be the new line. So let's actually throw that in a variable called new line. Then what we want to do is, as we said, we want to strip the lines, I mean the beginning and the end off of each one of these lines. So if they're spaces. And you probably guessed it, there is a string method that does this. So we can go new line equals new line dot strip. And just to prove this to you, let's actually print these out as well. So print new line. And I'm actually going to test this on the same example. And this is just A space B. And there's no space on the end here. And over here, there was no space in the beginning. So that's perfect. So basically, it's removing the spaces from the beginning and the end. After that, these are still spaces, but we want them to be dashes. So basically, we want to replace the spaces with the dashes. So you guessed it again. We can just go new line equals new line dot replace. And then we want to replace the spaces with dashes. And if we print that just to test it out as we're going, again, we see A dash B, C dash DE, and so on. Now, I actually want to return this value instead of printing it, so I have to create a resulting string. So that's going to equal the string. Like, we can make that just an empty string. And then instead of printing this, I want to go result plus equals, and then I want to add this new line. And then as I was going over here, I was adding new line characters, which is \n. And if I run this, and I run wordWrap, nothing comes out. And that's because I did not return. Woo! Return result. And I get this. So as we can see here, it is saying, like it's putting the \n. If I want to see this be pretty, I can just go print this value, and it gives me the correct answer. But it's not the correct answer. It just looks like the correct answer. And this right here is why it's not the correct answer. But a lot of times with string problems, you can't actually see that. And so you write the problem, you think you got it right, but then when you submit to AutoLab, it's wrong. So a good way to do that, a good way to test for that is by using test functions. So I have this test function here. So let's test with this. So it fails. So now let's actually look at the difference between this and this. And automatically I recognize that the difference is that this has this like this other line here, whereas this one doesn't. So basically, I have the right answer, but I just have a new line character at the end. So instead of returning result, ooh, my battery's dying. So instead of returning result, I want to return result except the very last character. And then if I run that, and I test it with this, there's no new line, and then I'll run it test wordWrap, and it didn't fail. So that worked. So that is wordWrap.